Well, goodness me. Took us a bit of time, of course, to get in. As you know, if you've been with us, there's been a few issues for players on both sides, actually, and I think, again, they struck and everybody wanted to make sure they were cool. Before getting into Vertigo, of course, again, if you are just joining us, Sinners taking map number 1. Not in super decisive fashion, but it was their pick. That's what you expect. Now we've got the Vertigo of Gamerlegion, which we have questioned. But clearly they've been doing work on it, otherwise they wouldn't pick it. They're not completely insane. And the pistol looks indeed to have somewhat of a game plan. Quick trade comes in. Zedko only had 1 bullet to land, and of course he gets it done. Nice flash over the top. However, it's from the T side. I figured it was a CT flash that went well. Not the case. It's the other way around. It sets Shock up, not just for 1, but for 2. Now his flashes come in, and he looks set to get the 4K. Indeed, he will. 4 bullets, 4 kills. Sinners take the pistol.
Yeah, indeed, and flashes for good or for bad, dooming Gamerlegion in that one. And to explain why we have our doubts about the Vertigo pick, Gamerlegion don't play all that much Vertigo. Their statistics say they're above average, a good team on Vertigo. The problem is that even though Sinners have looked a little bit weak of late on the map, they certainly used to love Vertigo with this lineup in recent times, being very good, and the map, for my money, has not changed a great deal in terms of the meta or the play style since then. So as long as Sinners have been putting in a little bit of work, stay up to date, I wouldn't be all too concerned for them. Neo Frag, he's in the open, getting chased down. There's a lot of pistols here. It's a good nade as well from B-Stick. So a little bit scary for a moment, but Gamerlegion, they've given up that ramp control. They've fallen back. Sinners have all that control now in their hands, so looking much more comfortable, I was going to say, for Sinners, but the eagle shot from Era is beautiful. 4-on-4 situation now. Neo Frag potentially over-facing there for my money. And now Gamerlegion, out of nowhere, man advantage.
Pretty worrying stuff that it comes about so quickly into the exchanges here. Do have B-Stick on the swing. The info angle, really. Zedko towards back 90, hidden away behind the girder. Gamerlegion, despite the 1-man advantage, excuse me, they are taking their time. Really winding in slowly in towards this A bomb site, trying to contact their way through, and I would assume that they have somewhat been spotted by B-Stick. Now, he can't put much of a fight up, might have only seen 1 player. So they start to make the move in. That does seem to be the case. Couple of smokes over the top. And, of course, these flashes to work with. But only 10 seconds, Alan, to get the bomb down. So B-Stick could be the man in behind enemy lines. You absolutely commit to this. And that's it. That's the round. No time to get the bomb plant. Beautifully played by B-Stick and the flash in from the backside, of course. Sinners just bail themselves out of a very embarrassing loss.
Yeah, indeed. And certainly when we get to the end of this map, I think either way, that will be seen as an absolutely pivotal moment there. The overfacing from the Sinners squad, but leaving it a little bit too late. Gamerlegion just 10 seconds earlier, and for me, they would definitely be in a strong afterplant position, if not winning the round and getting off the resets. So, having taken it so close, they've decided we're going to force into this one. No surprises there as Oscar, again, for me, getting a little bit ahead of himself. He's in the open, he's on his own, and he goes down. So Sinners making their life very difficult here in the early stages.
Oh. Zero able to walk away with the MP9 in hand. But they are certainly being pesky. Yeah, I think that is true. And, well, this advantage looks a lot better, doesn't it? More time, a lot more HP. And the money for that Sinners side has never really gotten itself off the ground. 50 seconds left as things will again start to shape up towards A. Gamerlegion going to be kept at bay by the Molotov. Nothing really coming for them here, Al.
Still good nades though on 0 and IM. So we assume we're going to see those standard left to right smokes coming out. Indeed we do. Here's the left side smoke. Zero's going to throw the right side, some high flashes to swing on. Nice and clean. It's only Neofrag really in defense. He does get one playing on top of this Tetris position. He's being an absolute menace. Does get trade out in the end, but he's made it much more doable for his teammates. Isaac, over eager for my money, trying to peek over the smokes. And this afterplant is starting to fall apart for Sinners. Rusty, though, decides to punch right back. 2 fast kills, shock remaining. A very hectic afterplant. Lots of individual plays overall, but Rusty sealing the deal in the end. A huge round there for Gamerlegion.
And, you know, there is, again, a lot of heroics, I guess you could say, and this kill is quite lucky. So it definitely feels like Sinners don't deserve that round. Gamerlegion have done the better and cleaner work, both as a team and, as you mentioned, as an individual in the case of Rusty. So we'll see here. Money all over the place for both teams as they continue to endlessly force. There is a FAMAS in play. Kind of need it on this map, you know. I think you need some rifle presence. You can get away on some maps with just going for those MP9s that are quite strong and playing your closer angles and just hiding away from the longer ones, but that ramp presence early on in the round, pretty important, particularly when you're lacking utility like Sinners are right now.
Very slow round from the T side thus far. They've ceded full ramp control on towards that CT side. Zedka goes for the smoke. He's going to go close to this wood position. Tries to make a play. I think that was a one-way smoke from Zedko, but it doesn't work out. Re-smoke comes in from that CT side, but it's not going to matter if they commit up here. Lots of flashes. Era's got a couple to ping over. Still waiting out the smoke for the moment. Shocks in defense. Neofrag is nearby, but there's not so many players. Getting a lot of damage through the smoke and potentially regretting not committing earlier. Our Gamerlegion, there's such low HP on these players. If CDs get any good jewels off, surely they go down quickly. First frag on the Executor goes the way of Isaac. Neofrag is on such low HP, he can't get aggressive. He's going to fall back, and it looks like Sinners, they're committing to the save. I think, Scribber, if they knew the health bars, they might be going for this one.
This is indeed what we call in the biz the unconfirmed damage. A lot of it comes through smokes, or you have a few nades. It's hard to know. It's very hard to know. So just to kind of explain things away there for maybe people that are wondering why, you know, you don't throw everything at this. That is why. They will take what they've got into the next round. Would it be to save anyway, so they have a little bit of presence. And on the exits, you know, yeah, there's a decent chance. They're set up pretty well for them there, taking down 2 players, nearly a third. But the fact that they take 3 in total and grab an AK, you know, financially pretty decent for them. Actually gives them a good chance into this round. Gamerlegion, everything kind of hanging by a thread. You've got Isaac with money and that's it. So it really is not sunshine and roses, you know, not that nice free round, as it were, against just the USPs. If you manage to find it cleanly, that's not the case at all. It's actually a very doable one for Sinners if they play their cards right. But I am. Different ideas. Finds the first kill. Not only is it the man advantage, it's also the AK out in the open now. Yeah,
we'll see. I think indeed Neofrag does just about pick it up with a boost around the smoke. Very strong one-way is that position, so looking pretty good so far, Gamerlegion. 5-on-3 situation. Bomb is on IM. Seems to be making its way back towards the B-bomb site. Era, as they smoke down, allows him to fall back, selling a little bit more presence. And as we can see on the mini-map, it's only Zedko on this side of the map. A deagle in hand, no armor, no nades. Caught in the open. Nice and clean stuff from Gamerlegion, as it looks like they're going to keep plenty of numbers alive. So a great round from them after what was a much more chaotic anti-force buy last time around. So good recovery from them, good money in the bank, and a good start, we have to say, on their map pick here of Vertigo.
Yeah, I think it can be hard, as we've seen over the past, you know, few weeks and could argue few months. the early rounds, very, very, very hectic. Especially when economies are weak on both sides, and we just need to get this one round, and then we're going to crack them, guys, you know? It's exactly what Gamerlegion actually end up doing. And now, you could argue, and I think you'd be right in saying, that they have gained the lead because they kept at it. Sinners in a very rough position in the early stages of this first half. So, and it's very hard to tell with the way that things are in this series. Gamerlegion coming in, all guns blazing in the same way that Sinners did onto Inferno. I think if Sinners can't pick up a first rifle round quickly, they're really going to struggle for the rest of this half.
Heavy A start from Sinners. 3 in attendance. Shock isn't too far off either. Just Zedco really alone on this side of the map. Gamerlegion, though, themselves seem a little bit peckish to this A side of the map as well. Molly comes out from Neofrag. Sort of sitting here for the moment, not thinking about peeking out. Very passive stuff from both teams really at the moment. Oscar is going to flash for the swing. Isaac is going to get caught out in the open. He turns the flash and 2 players go down immediately. It's just Neofrag left on this bomb, so it's trying to force him off angles. He does get a first, just about gets out of tail. Smoke on towards Ivy. So he has bought some time. He's bought some space to play with. Man advantage though. Still Gamerlegion.
Just about. For the time being, as they say. Oh, and it continues to head up that way. You know, thought maybe there would be a chance in here, and perhaps with just the one, it should be doable for a player to maybe pop off, but it's not going to be the case. They lose another, and that, again, will be the save. Sinners, then. Struggling, I think it is safe to say. Not watched them play this map for a while, so it's hard to tell where their preferences lie and where some of the issues could be arising from, but at the moment, Gamerlegion looking very prepared, and their game plan that they've set out from the get-go working very, very well.
Yeah, indeed. I think in very kind of simplified terms, it's safe to say that Gamerlegion are getting the better of that ramp control, aren't they? They're getting more entries, and even though Sinners are loading up with numbers and trying to be proactive, as we're seeing, whatever's wrong with it, the individuals or the team play, or maybe they're a little bit dated in how they're going for this control, it's not working. They're giving up so many opening picks on that side of the map. So certainly needs a little bit of a rethink. It's going to be the half buy coming out from Sinners. Of course, they've racked up so much loss bonus now. They can afford to invest quite a lot in that. Nade alone. That's the pain chamber for these two. Zedco is trying to walk in with that M40. Playing a little bit of an off angle by the generator era coming out of the ladder room. Good team play. Clean stuff from Gamerlegion. Looking good already on this round.
Yep, keeping it together. There is maybe potential to find one of these lower players, but weapon recovery and all that kind of thing, I think, is an entirely different question. Ooh, nasty off angle and a nasty flick from Oscar. Nastiness all round. It will be the 4-on-3, but Oscar has got other things to say. Beautifully found on the tight angle, beautifully found around the smoke. 3 versus 3, and now it becomes a lot harder to call which way this is going to swing.
Yeah, indeed, and with IM 52 HP, era only on 16, and seems Sinners they made a great read. Once again, there's 2 over towards A aggressively. Oscar, he's on low HP, he's just playing a 1 undone possession there by the close wood. Smoke's going to come in, but they're going to land behind these CT players, and there's no nades here to clear Neofrag out of the sandbag position. 0, though, that's a massive 2k. That's honestly, if they win this map, that might be a map-winning 2k. That was enormous. Sinners, they looked in great position there to win on the eco, but Gamerlegion just about regaining control.
Oscar looks set to take this AK out of the round, though. You're going to go creeping into him, but yeah, it's a weird angle. How many times have you had to deal with that kind of an angle on this map? So he will take it, gets his 3k. Nice bit of kill bonus actually for, you know, the AWP and whatnot. We'll see. Certainly in terms of the scoreline, looking very difficult, and recovery needs to begin now. And not only do they need to find this round, they need, I'd say, 3 in a row to solidify things and make it more competitive moving into half 2, but probably more than that if they really want to send themselves in with a solid chance. So we'll see. Sinner's time out here makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, indeed, quite similar actually to the early stages of Inferno, where that time around Gamerlegion took a pause. They just slowed the pace of the game and they composed themselves a little bit before the game could get away from themselves. So, no AWP at the moment on Oscar. He certainly could buy one himself if he chooses to do so. Zedko instead, he's got the AWP. Oscar could have dropped it to him though, so a little bit bizarre to not see that coming in. Ramp progression though is going to be on the cards for Sin as Neo frag from the crane position. He finds the first, but Beastick, he jumped down. Gamerlegion knew what was up. They got the spam off. So a lot of trades here on ramp. For the moment though, a 4-on-4 situation. Neo frag re-smoking the ramp, but he's out in front of it. He's in towards yellow. He's not been spotted. There's no CTs around Neo frag. He somehow gets a spray through the smoke. And how on earth has he got out of there not being traded? IM though has lurked all the way up. He's going to catch Neo frag. There's 2 more players around here. One in towards the sandbags. IM's dropped, and this madness is not set to end. Era on top of the sandbag somehow finds the frag after getting dinked. Oscar has rotated in the flank. It's coming in from Shock. I'm barely getting time to take a breather, Scriv, but it looks like it slowed down in the 2-on-2.
To a standstill. You could, as they say, hear a pin drop right now on Vertigo. And timing will be everything here. Smoke going to come in towards A. This mega quick flank from Shock could end it all. It looks like they're going to move in a bit quicker than he would like, but Oscar just got to stay alive. In behind the smoke, bit of spam. Keep attention on him, I suppose. And maybe they will spin around, but Shock should be in good position to at least find one. You'd assume. Nothing quite happening just yet. There it is. The back in from Zero will give him the frag. All onto Era, who has 8 HP. 1 bullet will do it, and 1 bullet has done it. AWP retrieved. Bomb defused as Sinners finally back on the board with a round.
Still good money, though, on Gamerlegion. They still get the plant. They still do some good economic damage, so I guess it's like you mentioned earlier with Sinners. It's not about just getting 1 round here. They need to be chaining them together. They need to break that T-side money if they want to get up to what is I guess an expected CT round. We know it's CT-sided Vertigo. We expect those 8-9 rounds, I guess, out of that CT side. And Sinners have got a lot of work to do here if they want to get back to those sort of score lines. So A defaults coming out from Gamerlegion. They've got 3 here in attendance. Neofrag, again, he loves playing aggressively, taking these angles early. And Molly out behind kind of ramp smoke there. There's nobody through for Gamerlegion, and Neofrag seems to know it. So early map control goes the way of Sinners.
Or maybe even deep early map control. Flash going to come in. IM will not be blinded, and he knows that play. I don't know that you need to go for it on the Sinners side of things. You're still in a pretty good spot there. And arguably with that deep control, forcing them towards B already. But we'll see, we'll see. Damage done to Era. Could be capitalized on, but you've lost that control that you were able to get so easily.
Yeah, indeed. It's played havoc with the retakes, the rotates, even losing Neofrag. You can see Sinners, they were leading 2 on B and 1 in towards mid, but now they've had to go over towards A to solidify that position. A lot of damage coming out from Zedko, but only the 1 frag. Shock, he's behind the generator. He has made his way over quickly, so it's going to be a little bit more of a defense here on B. B-Stick in the corner is going to catch the lurker in IM. So certainly at this point, it's got to be the B-bomb site for Gamerlegion. Flash comes over to give Shock a hand. He's still behind the generator. Oscar's going to molly default to buy even more space. Nades raining in, taking so much damage to these Gamerlegion players, but none yet to die. Beestick, they know he was on the flank, so they shouldn't be too caught out. But look at them, Squiv. Nobody's looking down here for the moment. Only now is Isaac beginning to think about it. These two CTs come in from the CT spawn side. Oscar goes down. Beestick finds one, but he's tagged all the way down. Jumping around is Isaac. One-on-one scenario now. He's sticking it for the moment. His Shock. He's behind the boxes. Still going. Isaac's trying to peek it, and he can't quite spot the head. And, you know, Sinners might be getting around Squiv, but they're going to have to invest so much cash here. It's another bomb plant for Gamerlegion. For me, they might be just about winning these ones, but they are far from out of the woods.
Yeah, the thought that automatically pops into my head as soon as you say Sinners are winning rounds is at what cost, right? And very difficult, and winning them in this way as well is kind of hard to replicate. Speaks to some inconsistency in places. But keeping it close, keeping it competitive, checking the confidence and the success of Gamerlegion. Nice little nade gonna land here, and almost maximum damage there. 51 points onto Shock. That is nasty. Still even. Still got this first kill to come in, but so far it has been Gamerlegion still finding the early openers or the early advantages in terms of the manpower. It's more Sinners battling back in the past couple of rounds, so we'll see if they can get away with it. He looked down, crouched down. And I am off the back of that look will actually find the kill, but when he was jumping up and making noise and trying to get into position, if you'd been stood up, it's a free kill. Absolutely, he was not looking there. And that's the beauty of the game, of course. Neofrag first to fall.
Yeah, I was so certain that IM was going to fall in that scenario, but he doesn't. It's Neofrag. First to the gutter. Oscar not far behind. Era getting much more confident now, just contacting his way out. And look at the money on these Sinners players. This is such an important retake. They might be man down, but what do you even do in this situation? If the bombs get planted, they might even think about saving. But hold that thought for a moment. Flashes raining over. Zedko's priming his ready to go, but with Beestick and Shock already taking damage. There is one going down. That's the bomb planted to the Molotov. Rusty's got a nice angle, and he gets the triple spray down. And look at the money Squiv for Sinners. It's absolutely in the bin. Gamerlegion. We criticised the pick of Vertigo, but on the weaker side, they're looking in fine form.
Yeah, definitely at the moment, Sinners having to battle pretty damn hard, and they're making a few mistakes, and it's being punished, which is quite exciting, actually, from the Gamerlegion camp. Should be a 7th. Stress-free. We got those Deagles, always annoying. There's 4 of them in play. A nade to work with, armor for Oscar. Never fully want to write them off, of course. But with the slow approach from Gamerlegion to begin with, I think this is kind of the way to do it. Don't swing in wildly and give the early post-ups from the Deagles any opportunities, and then you just work your way in, get some map control. Go for a full execute. It would be nice if you can find a first kill before that, but it's not necessarily required.
Era. A nice couple frags from him on that ramp aggression. Neofrag. No doubting the mechanics on this kid. Still facing, but clearly just Eagles in hands. No nades, no armor. We can't be expecting much more than economic damage on this one. Rusty's not even going to allow that. Just Zedko. So this round's already in the clear for Gamerlegion. I guess we can look ahead. It's going to be 7 in the bag for the European mix. On the weaker side of Vertigo. So from that perspective, we can already start having the conversation of if Sinners don't make it up to 5-6 round, is this already a nearly impossible scenario? Surely they've got to get at least that sort of numbers on the CT side of a map that they are very experienced on.
Zedko still sticking around here looking for an exit, maybe. seems not going to be getting away with it. Ooh, that's unlucky. Always a bit annoying. Landing the headshot through the wall, you know, would be kind of ridiculous maybe if it did work, but all the same. Gamerlegion coming away with 7, only losing the 1 player. Looking pretty comfortable as we get to the tail end of this first half. As you said, every round from here on out I think is important. Maybe once they hit 8 or 9. If they do that quickly, then Sinner's, you know, unlosable rounds, really. So there's a lot of work to be done, is, I think, the point that both you and I are getting at. And Sinner's, the issues that have kind of plagued them over the past few months with this map, kind of showing themselves here. And I think it's interesting, isn't it, when you've got a map that you're quite strong on, you don't work at it as much, and especially when you have a few weeks off in the major cycle, it can be a bit awkward. I am, though. Yeah, walking in, we're maybe a bit too confident with that. We'll go down. Zedko's found Isaac in and around that B area. We'll be isolated here. Beastic absolutely needed that kill to just relieve some of the pressure in on the B-bomb site. Zero does take down Zedko, but it costs him almost everything. There's a lot to get past. Somehow still alive. Nades everywhere, whether they're fire nades or high explosive ones, but he avoids all of them. Flash gonna come in for the AWP. Oscar can't miss that shot. Now just Zero. Does manage to find the first. Beastic is somewhat low if he can isolate this 1 versus 1, but they're just waiting. No kit available, though. I don't think there's one dropped. We'll walk into him, of course. Bomb, no chance of it going down, and that will indeed be Sinners finding 5.
Still some money in the bank for Gamerlegion. Very loose round from the Gamerlegion camp. And, you know, Sinners may have their issues here on Vertigo so far, but if you just allow them individual duels in their individual spots, you're almost certainly going to come out worst for wear. Goodbye, though, for Gamerlegion. Still a good opportunity to get up to 10 rounds, which would be a momentous first half. Beastic through the flames. He finds the first, but traded out, and we talk about it a lot. We often perceive these scenarios as T-sided. Sinners. Pressure's on them now to make a play or get some nice information.
Yeah, I think sometimes can be touched on that Vertigo, with it being quite close quarters in places, and the fact that you can rotate pretty quickly, maybe not as dangerous. It does vary from map to map, I think. But at the same time, when you lose a man, you don't have the same freedom to send them in to find some information later on in the round, so there's a lot of guesswork associated with where the hit's going to be, and therefore, to nullify the idea of it being guesswork, you leave the bomb sites as a 2-2 setup. And maybe you sacrifice mid, or maybe you sacrifice one of those bomb sites to pick up mid. Nice keen find from Era. Oscar swings out, again, dry, aggressive, and you can definitely say overconfident. 4 versus 3. Shock is here, Neofrag on the aggressive angle. Flash to help him out. Gonna go for the peak, it's a double nade over the top. Era's ready for it though while blind. Beautiful find once again. 4 versus 2, and another while blind. Maybe a bit ridiculous, or maybe he's just got his timing down to a T. Zedko will be the only one left. And again, Sinners forcing a lot of fights, and they don't find success in that.
Era, though, putting in the work, I guess, and playing blindfolded. A little bit bizarre, but credit to him. Sinners, money, back in the bin. Seems like it's been the story of this half, hasn't it? Every time they get around, every time they look like they have an opportunity to close the gap, make it a more competitive scoreline. They fall by the wayside. Gamerlegion rack up the cash. They break the money. They get to play against the half buys and the ecos. And next round again, Sinners, they're gonna have next to nothing in the bank. Just had covered that M4 and Gamerlegion. Previous wrong so far with this map pick. They're looking brilliant on the T side.
Well, maybe Mr. Zedko can set something up once again. He had a great game on Inferno, you know, with many of these types of bailout moments. This could be another one. Certainly going to be tough. Oh, and they are sending him in. Flash comes through. I am, again, just anti. There might even have been some more personal work, right? They've clearly been working on the map as a whole, but maybe reading into what Sinners like to do when they are kind of down and out on Vertigo, because we've seen that flash quite a bit, and we've seen it fail quite a bit. That's also the M4 going down, as well as Zedko himself as a person. So, probably going to be the round. That's your hero dealt with. Awkward angle here for the Deagle. As you can see, the stairs in the way, but kind of works in favor of the AK, actually, to just readjust. And that absolutely should be the round now.
Heavy ramp presence now from Gamerlegion. Just Beastic around on location. He gets a nice timing, but can't quite readjust for more than the one frag. Nade's going down. It's just near frag and shock. Deagle's in hand. Nothing else to speak of, so even a frag here would probably be a result. But seeing as the next round is the last of the half, unless they're saving AKs, the value of any frags is pretty minimal. So let's recap. It's going to be 9.5 for Gamerlegion, and considering the kind of the opening stage of this half, we're actually going the way of Sinners in terms of the economy. It's been a brilliant T side from Gamerlegion. They've been so much more stable. They've been better against the pistols for me than we saw in Inferno. So couldn't really ask for all that much more. It's a difficult map to play on the T side, and they're giving us a masterclass so far. And 4 to the good, it's 9-5 for Gamerlegion.
Well, we are indeed in the timeout here, of course. I would imagine, yeah, the Sinners timeout coming through at the tail end here. Just getting confirmation on that, of course, for you guys. And it is, so makes a lot of sense. You want to get this final round in before we go to the halftime break that doesn't really exist because it's not set up. Either way, Sinners absolutely need this one. We keep talking about the importance of these rifle rounds. And, you know, it's even a misleading score, and I think that's kind of what you were getting at, in a sense that Sinners picked up the pistol off to a great start and looked really, really good and crisp and whatnot and on it. And since they won the 2, they've picked up 3 rifle rounds since then, and a couple of those were very, very tight, in fact, and could have swung the other way quite easily. So, Gamerlegion, it feels like the map is in their hands. Now, things can change when we swap halves, but at the moment, really looking solid.
Plenty of nades drop there and spawn, of course. Is the last round of the half, so why not drop a few extra? A few nice freebies to pick up along the way. Somebody should tell them it was trick or treat a few days ago, and not today. Era, he's working his way up. Right eye peak. Oscar's on the left eye angle, and failed at the off is Oscar trying to go for an information play with the flash. His Neo frag. He does get a reply. His teammate, though, is dropped behind him. The trade's still going the way of Gamerlegion. He goes for the peek behind the one-way. Era, even the wall bang. Pretty ambitious. Shock has found a nice timing. He has seen the bomb, so getting a really tricky scenario now. He does smoke off his right-hand side. Rusty's taking ground on A, but that doesn't matter if the bomb is not recovered and Izaki comes back. And if there was a round where Sinners had to win it, that was it. They can't get it over the line. It's going to be 10 for the Sinners, the Gamerlegion guys. What did you make of that one, Scriv?
Well, I think for me, it's certainly surprising, I think, to see Sinners after such a strong start and looking so good just fall by the wayside. Gamerlegion were a little faster than maybe they were expecting, but certainly not impossible. As you said, the stronger side at the moment. It is a bit disappointing, but we'll see how it goes after the short break.
Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah, lost myself today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away close.
Well, maybe some Sinner's magic, you could say here, Alan, required for the second half. They picked up the pistol pretty convincingly. That would be a great start here. And if they can get it cleanly, cleaner certainly than the previous half, then they're in with a pretty good chance to close the gap. But Gamerlegion, they seem to know their stuff. They are really looking on it at the moment on this map. In a tactical sense, you know, we've got quite a few individuals in places, and they have, again, another great game plan. Contacting in. Maybe they've done their homework. Oscar likes to play around ramp by himself. He will manage to find a kill. Meanwhile, over on B, Isaac goes flying. New ragdolls galore. That actually came in from middle. An area that seemed very weakly defended by Gamerlegion, and it comes back to bite them in the backside. Just IM. He has been looking good. Ooh, gonna opt to play things a bit sneakily. And at this point, probably just looking for kill bonuses. He only gets the one, though, and he will go down. So, Sinner's pistol, first step, complete.
An important pistol, it feels like, especially just to kind of stem the tide that has been the recent few rounds in this match so far. So, for me, a pretty critical pistol coming out from Sinner's squad. But of course, we always talk about it. These second round, the four spies are by no means freebies. They're by no means a walk in the parks for the pistol victors. Sinners, though, they're grouping on towards B early. It's only Isaac actually in defense right now. It's a bit of a mid-stack from Gamerlegion. Smoke has gone down from Isaac, but I think Sinner's going to disrespect that one. Molly's going over. Beasic just jumps in front of that one. Smoke doesn't really achieve all too much. Isaac around the generator. First frag goes his way. There's so many flames on the bomb site, burning out these positions. For the moment, it's retake is the name of the game for Gamerlegion, and flooding their way in. So many frags coming in for the Sinners, and it could have got very dicey there as those players are swinging out, but so many good frags, good positioning from the Sinners guys. And for my money, an extremely important anti-eco, anti-force fight if they want to claw this one back.
It's starting. We are getting the ball rolling. It's not quite over the edge where, you know, gravity takes hold. But the work that they are doing is helping it get there, of course. This one should be easy. I'm still going to put a should on it in that kind of a tone because Inferno was kind of crazy. Oh, God. Okay. Let's keep it together. It's Zedko on an MP5, right? And he's out there for the information. He actually kind of spots with how deep he's able to get in. There's hardly anybody there. Cover is in from Shock, thank goodness. Triple kill comes in. We won't see any wild plays. He's actually on for the ace. Just like that. When it looked kind of dicey, a failed Molotov, a free kill, a quick dink, you know, it's all falling apart again. And Shock gets his ace. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, indeed. Good stuff from Shock. As you said, there was definitely a moment here after Beastic here was getting dinked up. But I was reasonably confident they were going to lose the round, actually. I thought he was going to get dropped immediately. They were going to recover guns, but Shock says no. 8-10, first proper buy round of this second half era. AWP in hand from him. Aggressive ramp taken out from Zedko. There's all 5 players here for Sinners. They're not messing about, Scriv. Got the whole squad in attendance. Molly starting to rein in. Molly for Ivy there. Flash is already ready to go. And then it's going to pop up immediately on the flashbangs. Forced back are the seasoned players. 0 flashes out on a flashbang from his teammate. And Rusty, that is the flashbang of the century. 3-on-2 now for Gamerlegion, and bomb drop towards the bomb site.
Goodness me. Again, this fast, aggressive, almost disrespectful play coming in once again. The Eagle come off of that smoke. It will indeed. Guesses correctly, gets the wallbang. Oscar has to do most of the work here. Well, now he definitely has to because the nade's taken down his partner. Oh, Plant coming in. Does get off it as he hears the footsteps. There's plenty of time to play around with this. He'll drop Rusty. And now, the 1 versus 1, although it looks tough, will allow him to start the guessing game. Isaac just spotted him on the crack angle. That is actually mad, and someone might even have talked to him about that, because it looked like he was on his way towards B, and he just spotted the player out there. That's so rough. That's so very rough. You know, Rusty at the back getting that kill despite flashing is pretty big. The first player that goes down in that exchange is not even 2-0. It is 2 Rusty, and the fact that, like I say, you can get away with it is massive. So Gamerlegion getting their 11th, but it is no easy task.
Certainly not. Look at the buy now from Gamerlegion. They might have won the round. They might have come out on top with a FAMAS, 2 MP9s, and their money in the bin. Sinners, you know, I say this a lot, and it really does ring true in that round, is if you're going to lose a round, that was the round to lose. A one-on-one, bomb planted, CT money back on the absolute edge. Sinners still in a good place, but for both teams, this is a huge round economically. This could really set the tone moving forward. Smoke goes down from Isaac. That should deter any T-side aggression. It looks like Oscar and Zedko, they're still hanging around though. Thinking about going in. That's a generator smoke coming out from the T side. Molly's also raining over. The bomb is still far from committed to a bomb site. There's a player lurking out mid in shock. That's an awesome frag from Zedko. And actually, Neofrag has gained a lot of space on towards A and Gamerlegion. They've bitten on this one. Oh, they're so out of position. And Neofrag has lurked so far up. This is going to be a really tricky scenario.
Yeah, the key thing for me is that you've got the Danger Man era with the AWP, who's playing pretty well on the wrong bomb side. Catch in from Neofrag. Able to escape. That's got to be the round. That's got to be the round. They will trade him back pretty quickly, but still 3 versus 3. No kit, barely any retake utility here. And you just have, like, no information at all. Era's even getting pinned down towards middle. Rusty goes for the wide swing, but it's not going to happen. Flank on flank on flank at the moment. Really well played from Sinners. And it, for me, will be the round. Yeah, okay. The fact that he moves forwards there and they're not going to try and barrel in with a few seconds left is indeed the round. And again, this speaks to, with the way that the economy is, this is not quite, you know, your pistol win losing the force buy. But this is, for the CT side especially, very dangerous because you've just won a round. Lost bonus knocked down ever so slightly, so that bit of cash that you've got left is kind of useless, and they have a decision to make as to whether they want to force this or not.
We'll see. It looks like it's going to be the safer economic approach. They had the choice there to, for Era to drop an M4 and Zero maybe a FAMAS. So there could have been 4 rifles in play alongside the AWP, but they've decided we're still up in rounds. We're still on the stronger side. There's no need to get ahead of ourselves. Even if we lose this one, if we can get 3 or maybe even 4 kills, we keep that money super low and have another go in the next. B-Stick, he's with Zedko. They love defaulting towards this B side of the map. Looking for Jules. Era. He's got that powerhouse, the big green. In front of that box in mid at the moment. Posting up on mid. So a very passive round from both teams actually thus far. Still yet to see where this bomb is going to end up. Molly for wood. That's a certainly overkill lineup script. You can just left right click it up there. But I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Nice find from Era with a very, very aggressive angle. If he checks the left-hand side, he might win that fight quite easily, actually, but we will never know. It's work for an opener. Boost coming in, Era looking for more, and he's able to get it. Still alive, unscathed. It's the push forward from Zedko that catches them off guard and has turned the round back in their favor. IM's found the head of Neo. Frag Zedko with the pixel headshot round the corner as Zero falls. Goodness me, 3 kills that have made all the difference. IM goes for the wide swing. Of course he would in a round like this, try and make it work. Not going to happen. Rusty. Okay, gets given kind of a free one. And now Zedko has to be careful. The flash leaves things in complete disarray for Oscar. Rusty knows surely he's not got a kit. You know, is he on the bomb or is he out to the side? Zedko with the flicks right now looking so damn good. And there's another one of those rounds. He had 6 kills prior to that. And then out of nowhere, 4K, you know, he just activates. He's got that switch and he only gets to flick it a couple times a map apparently. And he chose to do so here to bail Sinners out of what could have been a very, very silly round to lose.
Yeah, indeed. And for me, actually, it's been the individuals holding Sinners in general in this series. Inferno, they might have won it. It might look like a reasonably convincing scoreline, but we can attest to that was on a knife edge. That first half could easily have gone much harder towards Gamerlegion, and certainly, as we've seen here on Vertigo, the ace from Shock to save them from getting ecoed, 4k there from Zedco to haul them back into that round. Gamerlegion are doing so much damage to the economy every single round. It just feels like a matter of time until they eventually win one or maybe two gun rounds in a row and puts the Sinners' money back in the bin. So it's going to be a buy here from Gamerlegion and a huge opportunity now to get a super heavy reset off onto Sinners.
Bit of time here, of course, as we sit in the technical. But we have been confirmed that it's unpaused on the actual server, so that's cool. And, of course, the nice fly around in case you've never seen Vertigo in its fullest. But regardless, I think a bit of a cool-off for Gamerlegion in particular will be pretty nice for them, and they'll be able to back their way into this round if they get off to that clean start, you know. Get things rolling, get things sorted. And talk things over. Again, maybe if you are just a major watcher and somehow you've ended up here, there is a little more leeway when it comes to the technical pauses and what they can and can't say.
Yes, indeed. So, still yet to buy up here at Gamerlegion. So, whatever the tech issue is, we assume it's on their end. And at least for us, live with the game, it's not quite been resolved. I guess a lot of people are watching the major at the same time. NIP, Copenhagen Flames going down to the wire. Always good to see some new names in contention for playoff spots at the major. And of course, Flames, they're in Esea Premier this season. So we hope to see them in good shape here as well. But finally, we're back in game. Pause has ended. And to reiterate, a huge opportunity now for Gamerlegion to get off that reset and pay dividends to how much damage they've been doing on these eco and force buy rounds.
Nice molly from Isaac to keep them at bay. Of course, Sinners, it would be a classic, especially for this team that we've seen this evening, to go mega fast, and it looked like they were maybe thinking about it in towards B. Nice nade, nice molly. Pushes them back in the ramp presence. Return utility from Sinners, not quite as effective. Era contacting in, will land the flick. Nice and easy. You have some low HP bars, though, so Sinners not quite out of the running just yet.
Rusty, bit of a jump spot. He's going to smoke in front of ramp to try and delay that T side. Oscar posted up on Ivy. Flash goes through. I think that's going to go behind Rusty. It does force him back. That's a nice frag. I am trapped in the open, so Sinners responding straight back from their man disadvantage. The bomb is slowly starting to work its way up. There has been time for those rotates to come in, so it is Era and Zero trying to hold the fort. Coming through Ivy is Beastic. He's somehow got past Era. Oh, it's complete madness ensuing on this side of the map. Era finally gets traded. Zero swings through, and Gamerlegion, they had the man advantage, but it's not looking great here. Isaac remaining trapped in towards Tetris. He gets dropped in the end, and that, for me, feels like a pivotal round. Score is evened up. Gamerlegion, they'll be on the eco.
Very tough, very, very tough indeed. And I think, you know, readjusting to the Sinners T-side wildness and that relentless aggression that we talked about is going to be difficult for Gamerlegion, especially with a CT side that's not been able to get the cash money off the ground. Again, coming back to the fact that it was the one rifle round, but it was very tight, very close, leaves them with less to work with, and Sinners have won the subsequent and played off of that pummeling of the economy for quite some time. 11-11. But of course, a 10-5 half from Gamerlegion. So, quite the run back from Sinners so far. Gamerlegion have to find a different version of themselves so far here on this CT side. Zero gets his toes shot off. but he will live to fight another day.
Yes, indeed. And even though Sinners in the second half have looked all the more composed, it's safe to say up against the Pistols and the half-buys, it's been anything but clean play. B-Stick peeks out. That's an important first frag. They know there's a player behind sandbags. Clearly, if Rusty smokes himself, there's going to be a player there. Two have already pushed in, though, in towards Ivy. Have a nice timing. Zero gets the first on towards B-Stick. That's going to alert the teammates. Neo frag with the spray down. They know where Isaac is. They know he was on towards B. Oscar just about hauling the bomb out in time. So Isaac with that low HP, he'll be saving. It's going to be 12 for Sinners. And considering how poor they looked at times in that first half, this feels like, if not an even game, advantage Sinners right now.
As they did on Inferno in the second half, they're looking to press the individuals as much as they possibly can and just play around that. Neofrag's having a hell of a game right now. Good support from pretty much everybody but Zedco, who does look a little bit missing, but then arguably has one of the most impactful rounds of the game. At least from an individual perspective, right? So everybody playing their part. Isaac going to find another. Actually ends up making the round costly for Sinners, and they don't necessarily have all the money in the world. Still that T-side, and still works out because they're able to drop the AK and make life difficult once again. Could have resulted, you know, in a safe AWP buy, let's say. Maybe even a double AWP if you wanted to drop across, something like that. But without the AK, those types of options are out of the window, and Ira, as you see, missing head armor, you know, little things like that. Especially on a map like Vertigo, actually, the head armor can be pretty important, because even against the AKs, which will one-tap you out in the open, they get a bit more damage through the wall, of course.
Bit of a flash there. Era is going to make his way out.
Oh.
Not the best Molotov. From B-Stick, Era posted up. Oscar tries to peek in, but ready and waiting is the big green of the Swedish player. Neofrag can recover that orb. Shock! He somehow lurked out mid-scrib. He's behind both of these players. He finds the first. Oh. Rusty just about just in time. That could have been a horrific turn of affairs, but it looks a lot better now from Gamerlegion. Neofrag also tagged down. Era finds that frag, so Rusty putting up a monster defense. So for a few seconds, I was very scared for Gamerlegion. They make it 12 all, looking a little bit cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a few millimeters away. And always funny, isn't it? Rusty then goes on to 2k, so really could have been the kill of the round if Shock had found it. But it wasn't. Still, we've got the money here just about for Sinners to get something going. They're going to, again, try in towards B. They need to do well here. That second one particularly going to leave Zedco very, very low. I think that AK will trade hands if they can make it happen. And stumped for ideas. A well-read beginning to the round, I think it's safe to say, from Gamerlegion.
Yeah, indeed, but Sinners, not loads of utility expended, so no need to panic just yet. We're just going to take it a little bit slower, I guess, towards the ramp position. Smoke there from Isaac to block the bomb. So I'm seeing the flash play come out again. Zero's trying to face around these boxes. There's a lot of T players here. He just about to get out of dodge. Molly to try and flush him out, but he re-peeks from the top of that yellow position. Era now swings 2 for 1 in the trades right now. A tag through the wall on towards Neofrag. He needs some help from his teammates. Somehow finds one. Another trade. And wow, despite the meat grinder that has been the A ramp on this round, somehow Scriv, we're in a 2-on-2.
Blows your mind, doesn't it? To be honest with you, the way that they're able to make this round look doable, it looked like Gamerlegion were in the unassailable position, and yet not. Not a lot of time. So, gotta get moving. Zedco with the catch, though. Isaac somehow misses it. The timing must have been absolutely perfect for him to get through, get past Generator, you know, not being seen. That's mad. Rusty's on a quick flank. They'll look to play together, and Shock kind of recognizes the fact This is going to be so hard. No kit available. He does have a smoke and a flash, but you don't want to give his position away when you're coming in out a flank like this. Shock will walk out, and although not usually the AWPer, he still lands his shot. 13-12, Gamerlegion. You know what I'm going to say here, Alan. Struggling with the consistency, and on the CT side, that is a recipe for disaster.
Has to be said, as much as Sinners look improved, look in better form, look individually much stronger here on the T side, it is a little bit disappointing to not see Gamerlegion having the same, decisiveness, the same team play, the same aggression that they showed on the T side. CT has been a much more stale affair for my measure. Now, that's a good start to this round. Rusty finds one, but immediately traded. Oscar finds a frag on this B side of the map. That's going to flummox the CT rotation. You can see how they're trying to take information on A right now in mid. The B side is so weakly defended. That's where the bomb is going. And if Zero gets a bad timing, Neofrag is caught out though. So man advantage here. Smoke goes down for an IM. This is some great utility. Zedco realizes I've got a place, I've got to peek through it. Trade in the end does come through. Tag up on the molly as well. So bomb is going to be planted. So with the flank coming in from Rusty, Gamerlegion, they've got a good chance here. And boy, do they need to convert one of these rounds.
This has to be the game. You absolutely cannot be losing this one. Flash going to come in for Rusty. Oscar able to get away from it. Or big nade. B-stick in the big position. Gets the double. And it's all down to the player on the flank in the form of Rusty. Oscar left low. B-stick on the keen angle. Don't quite know where he's at. He's coming up close. Now they've pinned him down. It should surely just be a double peak scenario. There's not a lot of time though. And B-stick knows it. Rusty will find it. But he ain't got no kit. Can't get the round. Sinners find 14. Gamerlegion will be kicking themselves. And like I said, that might just start to spell the end here for the CT side.
Ooh, Sinners in these after plants. The individuals are reigning supreme. Be it B-Stick, Zedco, any of them chiming in. And of course, Neofrag on this map. He had his tech issues first time around in Inferno. Yeah. But here on Vertigo, complete monster. Absolutely in a different class to anyone else on the server. Particularly, of course, Era has had a good amount of impact. But for me, Neofrag is doing so much heavy lifting. Era, though, he's decided, I'm disagreeing. I am the best player on the server right now. He takes down his nemesis in Neofrag. Perfect start for them, and that's the danger man already dead.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. We'll see whether they can capitalize. We've had a few scenarios like this, Alan, where they start off and it looks good, but they can't convert. That's the key word, I think, of this game for Gamerlegion. So we'll see. Sinners have done well with their backs up against the wall, and this is perhaps not the worst scenario to be in, but it's a pretty common one, I guess, in the game of Counter-Strike. Go for the boost here. Good work. Isaac's on a bit of a peek out. He gets the perfect timing for it, though. If he'd been up there, he dies, but because he wasn't, he gets the kill. Big nade lands onto Zedco as well. So this is looking very, very good, actually. 5-on-3, no real map control or pressure or kills or chance of a flank. So they really will have to find something incredible. And again, perfect timing from IM to take out B-Stick.
So little money, either for Sinners. It looks like they're already thinking about the save. So clearly, Gamerlegion, it's going to be 13 for them. Sinners are going to have a very tough decision of whether to force buy in the next. It seems extremely likely, actually. They will do so, considering these two players, of course, they're on the T side. You don't get any loss bonus if you save after time. It's going to be really low money on Oscar, Neofrag, and B-Stick. So we'll see what they choose to go for here, but it seems like forcing up right now is the only call. So Gamerlegion, an absolutely golden opportunity now to win this round and then have another anti-eco, anti-force buy potentially in the next. So Gamerlegion, they might be down on rounds, but they are so close right now to getting map points. Era then falls to the first, but I am playing around. The smoke in towards mid does find 2 replies. They're trying to gain ground here on towards B, but Rusty saying none of it. Nades go on towards that default spot. Zedco already dropped low. Oscar's trying to play around this quad position towards the back of this girder, but with the nades, with Zero on the flank, unless he has a monstrous highlight, surely this is not possible. First goes the way of Oscar, and he's caught out in the open. He was the only real chance back into this one. 14-14 is the scoreline. Gamerlegion have brought this game back, and I believe, Scriv, you're back as well.
Indeed I am. It's gone on for quite a while, you know. It's the unfortunate world in which we are. You got to stay hydrated, but that also means that you might need to dip from time to time. I'm sure you held things down well, sir.
Just about.
Nonetheless.
Once I realised you were gone.
Well, there you are. There you are. Either way, 14-14, like you say, and, well, we've made our bed here on the Sinners side of things. They're playing for the overtime. A little strange, I think it is safe to say, with the way that things have gone these past few rounds. And this one, well, they might be able to pull it out. IM's got a double. They're a little all over each other, I should say, on that A bomb site. Not going to happen here, though. Maybe another kill. Maybe setting things up. Ooh.
No.
Ooh, hold on. Hold on. Ah, Zedco goes down. That's got to be it. Nade's going to land. And that indeed will be the kill. Whoa, for a sec. If Zedco kills that flanker 2v1 against an AWP, it doesn't matter that they've got no utility. Although, in fairness to Rusty, I think he picked it up towards the end. I'm not sure if he had it prior to the round being won. Regardless, 15-14 kind of goes the way that you would expect. But we are here looking down the barrel of an overtime. So, we'll have to see. I think, well, if you're savvy, if you've been here for a while, you might know how this one's about to go down. Nonetheless, minute 40 on the clock for Sinners, as they will look to work their way in towards B by the looks of things.
You don't know yet. It might be a very strung out after point. But unfortunately, we might know soon enough. Flash, though, coming out from IM, he's going to go for a little bit of a peek. Just a very passive opening from Sinners. Look how far back they're sat. They're just sitting on all their nades. They're not even thinking about any aggression this time around. Isaac's going to smoke. Bit of a flash out. That's going to force the Era back. So a little bit more control for the Sinners boys. Slowly working their way up. Era's still on the angle. He gets traded. 2 teammates are on location. Nearfrag's gone up close. He's going to expect the player close crane, but he finds the frag anyway. 4 on 3 now. Bomb working its way over towards this A bomb site. Neofrag's picked up the AWP. He gets dropped in reply. Shock is taking space on towards mid. This has become incredibly chaotic this round, but it looks like Shock might just be the difference maker here.
Yeah, again, he's done it many, many times, actually, and they're keeping the distraction in. Beastic going to find a flank out from Ivy. Gets the good timing, as they are indeed distracted away. Zero with a keen trade, to be fair, but he's not able to follow up, not able to stay alive. Down to Isaac to keep us away from overtime, then. 2 versus 1. Spots out the first, traded instantly, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed the overtime. So, we'll have to see here, of course. It is pretty surprising to me that we end up here. Sinners with such a solid start to the second half, then a great lead, and Gamerlegion, they battle back to actually take it to the overtime, Alan.
Yeah, indeed. But for Sinners, considering how down in the doldrums they were in that first half on the CD side, they would have taken overtime any day of the week. This is their opponent's map pick. They are one map to the good, and they have got it all the distance. So we'll join you after this quick break for the overtime here on Vertigo.
Never wake up again. You come and you go. You take me high, you take me low. But I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's my...
You know, never really know whether they're going to take time or not. And it seems they instantly were in for the ready up. Nobody in this game, you know, needs to go to the bathroom, that's for sure. Aggression from Rusty coming in to start off. 5 on 4 therefore, and Gamerlegion indeed picking up with a bang.
Era still feeling out the aggression. Oscar is on the other side of the smoke. There's a real battle of kind of the one-ways here, and Oscar comes out on top. Zero is a little bit aggressive. He's pushed down in towards that yellow position. He's tucked into the corner on the left-hand side. It's a really kind of unusual spot. You don't see it very often because, you know, if you're spotted, you're down immediately. Neofrag finds 1-0. He can't get anything done. He was the only person that can make a difference here. 4 on 2 now. Rusty knows he's got to take some duels, but up against these angles, sandbags, and playing around the ramp. What can he do? Isaac left alone, and what can you say? Sinners, this is like the perfect start to overtime.
Especially because they lost the first man, right? To kind of a play that they, I'm sure, would go for themselves in this kind of a moment. Oh, big nade damage. Big molly damage. Big kill. Okay. Commit from B-Stick gives Isaac a free frag, but Vertigo's a hard one to break back into a bomb site by yourself, because there's a lot of angles like that. Shock with the free kill gets it done.
Here's Oscar again. Just about dancing around that smoke. It's such a kind of coin toss. You're kind of dancing with the devil in those scenarios when it's AWP and AWP around those smokes. 16k is the money, so of course no issues for any team in this half in terms of buying in overtime. Zedco aggressively, he's got some lobby control. Neofrag, bit of a molly down towards the left side. Look at the minimap script. There's 4 players on A from Gamerlegion. They're certainly thinking that we need some map control. We can't be seeding that. We can't be giving up opening picks on that side of the map. And they put 4 players over. 0 again in this aggressive position. And this time, he comes good. 5 on 4. It didn't work out last time, but they need to convert this one. Gamerlegion in a strong position right now as these nades are raining into this lower position in towards ramp.
Not quite finding the success that they're after. Zedco keeping out. Oh, turned the wrong way. Finds the kill. That's... Oh, no. That's unreal. Shocking mid. You know how it goes. He finds a lot of success from there. Zedco going to find another no. Second smoke is hidden IM. Rusty takes out Shock towards middle. Bomb's going A or something. Don't even know, mate. Oscar is already in waiting. I am in the smoke. Zedco knows that he's got to be around here somewhere, and he just starts to walk out as the smoke dissipates. Usually the advantage is with the player that's in the smoke there, but he went a bit early. It's all onto Rusty. Bomb's rotating back towards B as Oscar had managed to find a kill. Rusty's on 34 HP. 20 seconds left is plenty of time, and Zedco might even be able to flank him behind. Yes, he will. Round over before the bomb's planted. 17 for Sinners, and fatigue, you know, the fact that you're on the CT side and it can be a bit hard to keep the guesswork going here, rotations, trying to take fights, losing frags like that, and the fact that the way this round is lost has got to be so frustrating. On top of the fact that in the previous you had the advantage, you know, it's crazy. And you're the ones that lose the 30th round to take us to overtime. You know, there's so much here for Gamerlegion. So much here for Gamerlegion that is working against them, it feels like.
Yeah, indeed. And also, if you tie in kind of how strong they were looking going into the second half, and to let Sinners slowly grind it back, and then get into overtime both rounds. And for me, it's not just they were man up, it's that they were man up cleanly. They couldn't be traded. It was Sinners. They had to make plays. They had to go for gaps and get the flanks off and, you know, get the unlikely frags. So, Gamerlegion, maybe, as you said, fatigue starting to set in. It might only be the second map, but there's been a very long series so far with the few tech issues we had. Zedco this time reverses the fortunes of the early round duels. It is an early advantage. Swiftly traded, but still, as we often say, I think Sinners, they'll take a 4 and 4, especially considering how the last few rounds started. So, starting to slow down now. B-Stick still a bit advanced here on B.
Yeah. They have, has anyone seen the Sinners coach? Because I feel like there's some kind of a sacrifice that's being made coming into this overtime. They're getting away with some, lucky moments and also just some ridiculous peaks like that from Neofrag. Now, that's fair because he's on 29 kills. I will get the catch off. But again, we've got some luck. Player has crossed in. Rusty will thankfully recheck the angle. I think he might just have seen him. It's hard to tell. Oscar then, the only one left. And somehow they've pulled it back and they'll actually win the round. Gamerlegion going to get the 16th. Rusty on the 3k. That comes out of nowhere. And of course, we now swap over. It is Sinners in the lead though with the turn of the half here.
Well then, it's been a bit of a crazy first half of overtime. Not quite what we expected. And actually, for me, that final round was Sinners' best opening. They were 4-3 in a clean position, and actually, it's Gamerlegion that fought it back. So, as we said earlier, there's one thing we can say about this series, is that it's absolutely not going to script. This has been madness all day.
Yeah, totally all over the place, to be honest with you. Absolutely crazy, of course. And we'll have a little bit of an extended break in between, as it were, back to us. I seem to be in the Minecraft realm on my screen. I'm not quite sure connection-wise what's happened there, but nonetheless, not the only issue of the evening, of course. But nonetheless, I think we shouldn't be waiting too much longer. Yeah, so we're straight back in. Just a preliminary on cams. It would be classic Esea teams to not take much of a break going from overtime. Going from regulation, into overtime, and then to disappear during the halftime break of overtime, but not going to be the case. Zedco, aggressive peak, finds the first kill of half two.
Yeah, certainly feels like an important pick as well. Double AWP in play from Sinners, so obviously it must literally be an hour since they last played CT side, but they've decided we're going to switch it up. We're going to bring the AWPs out into play, double AWP for them. Leading less numbers over towards A as well. You can see how it's B-Stick and Shock in mid. Shock can take contact and ask for those flashes. Flash comes out. More information on mid. And you can see how, with that information, Sinners are like, we're going to give up mid. We're going to play into A and B instead. But it looks like Zero is wise to that. He knows that they've just cleared mid. They might not expect him. He gets a lot of damage onto Shock. No frag just yet. The timing is brilliant for IM. He is traded though. They have to fall back in towards ramp. So Sinners do get the retake off. And now Gamerlegion, 48 seconds remaining. They've got one smoke. Zero map control. They're actually going to sit in this ramp smoke. Oscar's caught in the open by almost the simplest of plays. Nade is going to go back on towards B-Stick as well. That does so much damage. Rotates are coming in, so this is going to be an absolute brawl here on towards a B-Stick tag down again. Zedco can't connect. He's the only one with HPs in the flames, and he still finds the frag. Shock has only got 11 HP, but they fall again, and Sinners, I don't know, Squib, it just feels like they can't put a foot wrong here in overtime.
Yeah, very true, very true. The Oscar play out in the open, for me, is very risky, even if there's only one player in and around that area. I think the one player in the smoke could maybe have gotten it done, but he pushes into the scaffold on that sort of left-hand side for Oscar. He was watching closer to the right-hand side. That's a hard flick to hit. There's an awful lot of risk there, and yet, here we are, right? Zedco, again, having a bit of a bailout round, despite that only being his 20th frag. Shock with the off angle in towards middle. Sets them up nicely here on the Sinners side. For a 5-on-4. Certainly does look good to me.
Rusty as well. Oh no.
That's an overtime, head in the bin, really. Like, they're just not present, it looks like, for me on the Gamerlegion side of things. So, something a bit crazy required here, and it'll have to come from Isaac. Let's get the first. 3 more to go. I just don't see it happening.
Makes 2 of us. And indeed, it's going to be Sinners. And I'm not really sure. That series for me was so bizarre, and we may have picked Sinners as favourites going in, but seeing how it played out, I think Gamerlegion is going to be absolutely gutted to not at least take that to the 3rd map. And had they got it to Dust 2, both teams permaban, who knows what could have happened. So Sinners, let's say it was a good win in the end for them, but it was far from clean. And for me, I still feel like the individuals got them that over the line for them. If that was a game with parity in terms of individuals, I think Gamerlegion wins.
Yeah, for sure. In all fairness, it really is rough, and I think there was the overtime just not quite able to, gas in the tank type argument, and they couldn't indeed take it over the line. We also had a lot of rounds, I think, for them, unfortunately, where they did have the advantage, just needed to kind of tighten up, and particularly on that CT side, right, get the conversions going. Just have someone say, all right, relax, I've got my kill, and I think some of the risk comes in where maybe if you're going to go for an aggressive play on the CT side, you've got to commit maybe to just one of them. Sometimes having aggression all over the place can very quickly pull things back in the favor of the opposition, where it's like, oh, this guy's pushed B and got a kill, but I've just pushed A, or just caught the aggression of the CT side, rather, and therefore it's a 4-on-4, which is going to work for me as a T-side player, right? So if you're doing aggression all over the place, it absolutely has to be successful, and that sometimes also slipped up in the early round.
Yeah, indeed. And maybe for Gamerlegion, it was a case of, they feel like they need to be proactive in this matchup. They feel like they are a proactive team, and maybe they're not sure when to put the brakes on. It certainly felt like on that CT side on Vertigo, certainly when it was going close, it felt like they were very quickly running out of ideas. They're getting exploited from so many angles and giving up unlikely rounds. So, yeah, I don't know. Sinners did win it, but I'll be real, I'm not sure they were the better team in that matchup. I think Gamerlegion, they put on a very good show, and I'm actually gutted for them. They couldn't get it to a third map.
Would have been pretty exciting, I think, to see, and a nice... it's one of those games where you kind of want a third map to appear, because you want to see these teams really go deep, really give it all, and really... I guess, have the fairest, quote-unquote, kind of showing of what they can do, because we have, close on Inferno, Sinners, it's their pick, that's fair. The Vertigo, it did feel kind of unlucky. It's not a word that we use in a serious way an awful lot, and they did look like the world was just kind of against them. So then you get them on Dust 2 and maybe remove some of that unluckiness, and perhaps we get a cleaner showing from them with a few more rounds going their way.
Yeah, indeed. And just to, I guess, for a lot of people, the big topic today is the major, and just to fill people in, if they weren't watching, NIP did topple Flames in the end on Inferno. They've gone to a third map, and Flames, I believe they were 11-5 up after winning Pistol in the second half. So that game's now gone to the third map. Should be a barnstormer. Both teams like Ancient, and certainly, for my money, NIP might be certainly in contention for the best team in the world on Ancient. So that should be a great game. And of course, as much as we like to push our own streams, when the major's on Scriv, I think most people are going to be tuning into that. So yeah, I hope everyone's been enjoying the major action. It's been too long, bro, since we've had LAN in general and a major. So feels good to be back, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, been some great games, and I think we'll see some of those teams as as we've said, kind of thing with what we got, Copenhagen Flames coming in, and Tropic, of course. Both teams have looked pretty good at the major, and there's still a chance, Copenhagen Flames, of course, to make it even further and whatnot. So that's kind of exciting. That is really exciting. But I believe that is indeed going to do it for us today. We were trying to get an interview sorted, which is why we were maybe filling a little bit there, but unfortunately not able to get it done. Sometimes happens. Sometimes we get lucky with those, but here on the B stream, the players, I think, especially after a series like that, just want to get away, and that's completely fair enough. So we will join you at the same time tomorrow for a little bit more action. We've got Anonymo up against Double Pony. Myself and Alan are going to be on that one. And, of course, we will catch you around the 7 o'clock Central European time. Make sure you're here. Hopefully we start on time tomorrow, and we'll see you then.